Hello everybody and welcome to Tutorial Tuesday and welcome to my craft studio, Bird's Nest Designs. My name is Denise Cox and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Canada. Today is Tuesday, June 21st, and I am here to share with you Tutorial Tuesday. So as you pop on, say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. I love to know who's crafting with me. Okay, today we're going to focus on my product of the week, which is the Simply Fabulous stamp set. Oop, here we go. So I'm just going to give everybody a second to pop on. Remember, when you're watching, let me know you're here. I see there's a few people on. Hello and welcome. So we're going to do something a little bit different today, something I haven't done before. We're going to follow along with the Global Design Project of the Week. This is something I've been wanting to do. Yes, happy first day of summer, Sherry. It's also my baby sister's birthday today, so yeah, it's a wonderful day. Hi, Tina and Gail and Sherry. Thank you guys for watching. Just getting my comments up here on the side. Looks like we're getting ready to go. Perfect. Awesome. Okay. So yes, it's the first day of summer, and in celebration, it's also free shipping in Stampin' Up! World. So today only, if hopefully you all saw my newsletter, saw my post here on Bird's Nest Designs on Facebook, it's free shipping on all oh my goodness, on all orders over $100. So if you have something that you on your wish list, today is a perfect day to put that order in, and then you'll save your 11% shipping fees. So it's a great day all around. Hi, Carol, welcome. Okay, so free shipping. Yes, I was just thumbing through the catalog, waiting to come live here tonight, trying to decide what on my wish list I was going to order after my live video tonight, because I also want to take advantage of that amazing free shipping deal. So again, if you have something, if you live local and you want to send me your order, even if it's not $100, please send it to me and I'll combine a couple of orders here and there and get us the free shipping. All right, so as I mentioned, last week, hi Sonia, last week and this week, I have been doing a featured product of the week. I did this a while back and then I kind of got away from it, and now I'm going to give it a try again. So we'll see how long it lasts. But this week, my featured product is the Simply Fabulous stamp set. I love this one. It's one that you may have overlooked in the catalog, but after I share it with you this week, I'm hoping you take another look because it really is a great, great stamp set. This is our second to last Facebook Live that'll be live on Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. Starting in July, I'm going to go live still every Tuesday, but I'm going to do live at 5. It's got a little bit of a ring to it. It's a little bit earlier in the day, so people in different time zones can catch without it being too late. And it also frees up a little bit of more of my evening, so I can do more designing and creating for the remainder of the week. So live at 5 starting in July. I hope you'll all still come and watch with me. If you can't catch it live, then the replay will always be posted here, and it's also uploaded to my YouTube channel every single week. So you won't miss it, but I do hope that you can join me live and watch along live at 5 starting in July. All right, so I'm going to flip the camera down and share with you the project we're going to create tonight, and also talk a little bit about what I've discovered in this global design project. So let me just switch the view here. There we go. Okay, so as I mentioned, we're using the Simply Fabulous, and every week I get an email from Global Design Project, and I've been wanting to do it for a really long time and play along because I do really like challenges. I like, and it looks like sometimes they're sketches, sometimes they're product ideas, sometimes they're color schemes. Each week it's something different. This week, this one really caught my eye. So here is the project, and it says the challenge is to case the designer. So copy and share everything. There's lots of different things CASE can stand for. But the card that I created, knowing I wanted to use the Simply Fabulous stamp set, is this one here. So it's a little bit different from what I usually create, but I had a lot of fun putting it all together, playing with the colors, and following along with this beautiful project. So let's go ahead and get started and recreate this, and I'll show you how simple and how awesome and fabulous the stamp set is. Okay, so the colors we're going to use tonight are absolutely stunning together. I've got Parakeet Party, Starry Sky, and Fresh Freesia. Now, all of these are in colors. These two are the brand new ones that just got released in May. In June. No, May. And this one is the one that was returning from last year. So great combination, and I had a lot of fun. Now, the colors were inspired from the Butterfly Kisses Designer Series paper pack, and this is an adorable pack that you can get in the annual catalog, and I'm trying to get it over here to show you. Goodness. Okay. So this is the Butterfly Kisses Designer Series paper. It is 6x6, but just check out these amazing patterns. It is absolutely gorgeous. And this is where, there's the paper I'm using tonight. This is where my color scheme came from, as I just combined some of these gorgeous colors I found on the designer paper. So that paper can also be found in the annual catalog. It's part of a suite, but of course you can buy it by itself as well. Okay, so I'm starting with a thick basic white card base that's 11 inches by 4 1/4, and I've got it scored right in half at 5 1/2 right here. So we're going to go ahead and give that a fold. Remember, the bump is always to the inside. I'm going to burnish it with my bone folder. All right, so there's our card base. And then that beautiful paper I just shared with you from the Butterfly Kisses, we're going to use this pattern here. I loved how the flowers in here are very closely resemble the flowers in here. So that is why I chose this pattern to be our background. And this one measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and it's going to cover the entire card front perfectly. So I'm going to use my Tombow liquid glue here, my multi-purpose glue. I'll just put a little bit of that on the back. And what I like about the Tombow, the multi-purpose glue, is that I can just, as I did there, wiggle it around if I've got it a little off kilter. So it's really easy to just reposition. So there's the front of our card. I love doing the whole front designer series paper once in a while. It just gives it a little bit of a different look. All right, so then I've got a piece of Fresh Freesia cardstock, and let me tell you what that measures. I forgot to write them down, but this is 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. Okay, and this one, we also have a basic white, which measures 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. Okay. The other pieces that I have for today's card is just a scrap piece of basic white that I'm going to do some stamping and cutting, and then a little 1/2 inch strip of Fresh Freesia, and I believe it's 2 1/2 inches. Let me just double check that for those of you who want to create this. 2 3/4 long. Okay. So we're going to start with our Fresh Freesia and our piece of basic white. Now I see I got a little bit of ink on here, so I'm just going to flip it over and use the other side. And what I love, what really caught my eye about this stamp set was the beautiful arrangement and assortment of flowers and leaves, as well as a great combination of sayings. There's sayings that you can use for the front, for the back, that you can combine together. The font is really bold and fun, so it's a really, really great versatile set to add to your collection. So what I'm going to do is use Hooray, and we're going to stamp this a bunch of times. And what I'm doing, if you noticed in that designer global design project, there was like a scripty stamp looking in the background. So I'm kind of recreating that. That is sort of what inspired me to go ahead and play around with this challenge, was I loved the way they had that in the background. So as you can see, I'm just inking and stamping over and over the words hooray. And that is something really fun. I love the size of the fonts in this stamp set because you have this option. And I'm not being super fussy, as you can see. I'm not using my stamp apparatus or anything. I'm not measuring. I'm just stamping, staggering in. Oh, I'm running out of ink over there. Staggering in the words so they're kind of in uniform down the side. So I have 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just a couple more rows. And this is a really good way to use the stamp set, because you don't just need to use the single little hooray by itself. You can create fun focal spots like this. Now this is getting a little lower than my original one, so that's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I do want to have 8 rows, so we're just going to go back up to the top here. And there we go. So again, we've just stamped a bunch of times the word hooray. Isn't that fun? I love it. Now, that can now get attached to our fresh Freesia cardstock, and it's just going to leave a little, like 1/8 of an inch border around. Not even, it's going to be like a 1/16 of an inch because it's only 1/8 of an inch bigger than the whole piece. Sometimes those really nice little borders are just enough to make everything pop. So there we go. And that ties in beautifully the cardstock mat to the stamped greetings. All right, so let's bring that in here, and we're going to then, this is going to eventually get attached to the front of the card like that. But before I do that, I'm going to switch over and grab my Starry Sky. I love this color. It is absolutely stunning. It was our featured stamp of our In Color Club color last month, and it was a hit. Everybody loved it. So now I'm just looking for what I did with the little purple strip. There it is. Okay. And we're going to stamp Let's Celebrate. So as I was saying before, how these greetings and sayings just work together. So we've got hooray, 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 let's celebrate. So that would be great for a graduation. It would be great for a birthday, even a wedding. There's so many options that you could use for this combination. So I'm just going to go ahead again and just glue that on the front, right below all those stamped hooray. Okay, just like that. So now that that's done, let's go ahead and attach that using some Stampin' Dimensionals. Because this is a relatively large piece, I am going to put a few extra dimensionals on the back. I don't want any sagging. I don't like it when the cardstock sags. So we'll keep it nice and even and put lots of dimensionals on the back. Okay. And then I'm just going to center that over top of the Designer Series paper here. There, isn't that cute? So fun. Even just like that would be a fun card. But of course, we're not finished. We're going to add a few little floral images and leaves. Okay, so I've got my scrap piece here of basic white, and I've got this pretty leaf image here. I'm going to use the Fun and Bright Parakeet Party. We're going to stamp this leaf image twice. So, once there, and once like that. Okay, And these will be, I mean, I'm going to fussy cut these out. But first, let's do all of our stamping. Oh, we've got a puppy hair on this ink pad. Just get that off before it ends up on my stamp. Oh. Okay, or not. Another use for the take a pic tool. There we go. Okay, so in the image or in the stamp, sorry, there are two of these bold floral images. So I'm using the one with more petals. So this one's got 7 petals. This one just has 5. I'm going to use the one with the more petals, and I'm going to stamp that. One's down here. Look how bold and beautiful that is. I love it. And then we're going to go ahead and stamp this flower here, also in the starry sky. But we're not finished because to me it looks like it's missing something. So I'm using this little image here. Can you see that? And I'm going to use the fresh freesia, and I'm going to fill that in just like that. Okay, so there we've created that pretty flower that coordinates with our color combination we're using on today's card. So let's go ahead, and I'm just going to quickly fussy cut that. And so it would be really lovely if every stamp set came with dies and punches, don't you agree? But that's not the case, so we're just going to quickly fussy cut these. And really, I don't mind fussy cutting. It's a little bit relaxing, except when your paper's getting in the way. So we're just going to cut this around. And I like to remind everybody that when you're fussy cutting, it's always easier to, well, for me anyway, to turn the paper as I'm doing rather than try and maneuver your scissors around all the papers. It gives it a little bit more control. A little bit tricky sometimes to fussy cut when you've got the camera sitting right over top of your project. Okay. Just about done this one. I always leave a little bit of a white border around because to me it makes it hide any little blemishes in your cutting job. So I like to just do that. So we're going to cut around here. And then we're going to cut those same flowers out. Okay, let's just cut this around here, just about done. Oops, a little hard to see with that one in the way. So as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, I'm playing along with the Global Design Project, and anybody can do this, and they give away prizes. I'm really quite excited to have stumbled upon their site. So do check it out, Global Design Projects. Every week they have a project, and you can just play along. You don't have to post it or whatever. You can just use it as a challenge and a creative inspiration. But yeah, there are lots of fun ones, so do check it out if you're ever looking for a challenge. I'm going to stick out this one out as well. My paper's a little bit big. It's getting a little bit in the way. Isn't this color just beautiful? I just love it. So what do you guys think of today's color combination? Do you like it? Is it something that you would use in your crafting? Because I think it's really bright and fun. And what a fun, bright color combo for summer projects. Just one more. I just had to check my screen. Everybody's very quiet tonight. I was making sure that we weren't all frozen. Oh, Sherry says it's pretty. Yes, I agree. It's very Very bright and very pretty. In that paper I was sharing with you, the butterfly kisses that we're using, they also have some calypso coral and crushed curry in there, which is a really great combination. Hi, Dee. Okay, so we've got all of these pieces cut out. Now what I'm going to do is, of course, use some Stampin' Dimensionals to assemble these onto the front of the card. So I've got a little wiggle here of ink that kind of came off my stamp. So I'm going to try, it doesn't have to look exactly like my first one. I'm going to try and cover that up a bit because I don't really want to have that on my card. So here I'm going to just cut, I didn't bring my Stampin' Minis in, my dimensionals, so I'm just going to cut this one in half and stick it right here on the end. And again, I'm not going to worry about it sticking every leaf down because it's not going to go anywhere. So we'll just stick those on. Oh, Tina loves it and so does Gail. Awesome. I'm so glad you guys like it. It's a really fun one. Okay, so I've just peeled the dimensionals off and then I'm just going to stick that on here. And then this one I'm just going to kind of stick over here like that. Okay, so the centers you can see, they're not really stuck down, but that's okay because we're still going to add our flowers and that is going to secure them in place. So I've just got one dimensional behind this two-tone flower here, which is super, super cute. And I'm just going to attach that like that. And this one here can go over here like that. Notice how I was sure to cover the stems, so when you look closely you can't see where those stems were. It just looks like one continuation. So that was my goal, and I'm loving how this card is turning out. And we're going to add some Opal Rounds. These are the 2021-2023 in colors, so it's going to match the fresh freesia we used. And again, with my take a pick tool, this thing is so handy. We're just going to take a couple of these off of here and stick one in the center of the flower. Isn't that pretty? And then another single smaller one and stick that right onto the side here. And of course you could go and add more too, but I like the subtle look that just a couple of them adds. And I also like the white space on this card. It kind of balances with the busy background we've used here. So that is how I've done the front. Now, of course, I like to decorate the inside, as you guys have been seeing lately. So I'm going to do a little bit of stamping, and I'm just going to stamp this fun leaf. Like this. Maybe one coming in from the side. And another one coming like this. No real rhyme or reason, I'm just stamping. And then I loved how that, what's this? This big, larger blue flower turned out. So I'm going to stamp that in here as well. Just a couple times, just for fun. There. So there's our card. Oops, I got a little bit of a ink squiggle up there, but that's okay. So there is our card for tonight, featuring my stamp feature of the week, Simply Fabulous, and the global design project for the week, which was to case this fun, awesome design. So yeah, so you can see how it's similar, but not the same at all. And just really inspires some creativity when you see a fun challenge like that. All right, so thank you all for watching. Starry Sky. Oh, Gail, it is, isn't it? It's a beautiful color. It is definitely, so far anyway, my favorite in color. I love it. It goes so nicely with so many of Stampin' Up's amazing colors they already have in their lineup. So I love it. And I strongly suggest, if you don't already have it, that you add it to your next order because you won't be disappointed. It is beautiful. So thank you everybody for watching along and creating the card. I will upload it to my YouTube channel. The measurements were all given throughout the video, and in the description of my YouTube video will be a list of all of the supplies that I've used. So if you've missed anything or you're curious, you can find them all there. Don't forget, today only is free shipping, so you have until midnight Mountain Time to get those orders in to qualify for free shipping. The order does have to be over $100, so you can go together and combine with a friend or a neighbor. You can send your order to me in the next little bit here if you want to add it to my order going in. I'm gonna say I'm gonna place my order at 9 o'clock Pacific time, so get that in really quick if you want to do that. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching tonight. I hope you enjoyed today's project. And I hope that you are going to go find the Simply Fabulous stamp set in the annual catalog and consider ordering it and adding it to your collection too. All right, everybody, have a wonderful Tuesday night, and I hope you have an amazing rest of the week. Thanks, everybody.